Welcome to the Reckoning podcast, where we stoke a campfire, gather around, and have real-life conversations with old friends, new friends, professionals, and just shoot the shit. Reckoning all things from hunting, outdoors, beauty, entrepreneurship, relationships, life, and more. It's all just a reckoning. So, we've been kind of reminiscing for just a second. Me and my friend Liz, we go back to, I was thinking about this yesterday driving. I'm like, 2008? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's almost 20 years. That's
a
bananas. That's a long time. We've seen each other grow a lot over those years, that's for sure. Because when I think of like 2008 Brittany, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
But she was so iconic. Can I just...
No, well...
I love 2008 Brit.
Thanks. And I was thinking of 2008 Liz, and I'm like, again, iconic. Because like to paint the picture for Liz, I think it's important too to think of like how we met. Because there was also such a huge drastic change from that Liz to even just a few years after that Liz. And when you think of Liz in 2008, we met through work, which is just so serendipitous if you think about it. It's always funny how people come into your lives. And we were working at, go figure, we're from Utah, an alarm company, right?
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody in our age range that hasn't done summer sales. Like the more people I talk to, the more I realize like everybody went through a stint of summer sales.
Yes. Especially in Utah, I feel like it's really huge here. And so we met in an alarm company and we were in our little cubicles. We were in the compliance department. We had a lot of power for some 20-year-olds, if you think about it. Just and boy, did we love it too. Like
it was fun.
And Liz was, when I met her, just like spicy and sassy, and she had her heels on and she had her hair done and she had her nails did, and she was just like running the show. But was so much fun to work with. And I just remember like I could always hear you walking through the building in your heels.
Yep. I was like, yep, the 3-inch stilettos, that was like iconic 2008 Liz right there.
Yes, with like the peep toe, right?
Yeah.
And so that is how we met. And I just love thinking about like the drastic change in which was us in 2008 and how we kind of grew together and also individually as we kind of found ourselves. And so then I got thinking, I'm like, it's funny when I talked to Cody and I'm like, yeah, he's like, well, what are you guys going to talk about? I'm like, well, there's so much to talk about. What do you mean? But Liz is part of like the outdoor space. So when I think of Liz walking through, you know, in her pumps with all of her jewelry and her nails done, how were you introduced to the outdoors?
Can I tell the story about us? Am I allowed?
I don't know. What story?
Because we were cubicle buddies. And do you remember, I distinctly remember this conversation between you and I. This is going to like make me look silly, but it's totally fine.
Okay.
I'm cool with it. But you were talking to me about your upbringing and your family culture and just like what the outdoors world meant to you. And it was respect and hard work. Right? Like you respect the land, you respect people, and you work hard for what you get, right? Like I just remember having this conversation with you and then just like respecting your elders. There's so much that goes into the outdoors world. And you were equating it to a Western. And you asked me, you're like, Liz, have you ever seen a Western? And I was like, oh yeah, like Back to the Future. And your eyes... they got so big. For those that can't see us, like deer in the headlights big, and your mouth just dropped. You're like, no, like not like Back to the Future.
Oh, that's too funny. I don't remember that.
I do, because I learned what a Western was.
Not Back to the Future.
Yeah. Yep. You educated me on an outdoor space. It was actually through your example that I like learned so much about that culture and that community. And it wasn't too long after we met, I ended up meeting and falling in love with a small town boy. And I got a firsthand experience of what those traditional values were and just the bonding that can happen in an outdoor space that can't really happen anywhere else.
Oh, I didn't know I was like your introduction, but you were a city girl, and it is funny when I think about, the cubicles and kind of decorating it. I think I was like hanging up my turkey pictures and the cubicle and things like that. And we were so drastically different at that time, but then we found this fun little bond,
Yeah.
and you
And
really
just,
embraced it.
yeah, so much respect for each other, right? Like you had respect
Right.
for me and my family background and vice versa. And it just, I don't know, you were the gateway.
God dropped me in just to give you a little splash
You're
before.
like, you need to prepare Liz for her future husband because it's going to be a cultural shock if you don't.
Yes. And he was even more so because he small town
Oh,
boy.
for sure. Like, we're talking population 5,000. Like, we're talking small town, one stoplight that's like a flashing light, not even like a real stoplight, just tiny, tiny town where you are growing everything and you're harvesting animals and you're ranching, just all of it, right?
Yeah.
I got a full blown, like, 180 life experience change. And um, I think you helped break that pre contemplation bubble for me.
I'm glad I could prepare you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Um, what was your first time? So you kind of got an introduction to the outdoors and a little bit of glimpses here and there through our conversations and me coming in with my wild adventures, I'm sure, for you. And then you met Cam. Was there like a first outdoor experience that you remember? Like
Well,
getting
there's
out and hunting, the
so many
fishing?
different outdoors experience. I think I've always appreciated nature. Like my
Yeah,
version of hiking
totally.
on paths and trails and doing that. And I soon learned when I met my husband that that's not real hiking. I mean, it's hiking,
Yes.
it's not hiking. Just like
I
that you're
remember you being like, I hiked the Y, and I'm like,
yes.
okay, have you gone off trail? You're
Yes.
like,
Like
what?
yeah,
Why would
I
I do
and, like,
that?
learning about landmarks and how to get back, like, he opened up my world to a different version of hiking, and I still, to this day, will probably get lost, and I'm like, "Oh, man, I am learning. I'm learning ridges, I'm learning where things come down in order to, like, get my way back up." But probably one of my first experiences is, going on a cattle drive, which horseback riding is not
Not
me,
Back to
is
the
not
Future.
2008 Liz, okay? That was an experience in all in itself. I'm pretty sure his sisters dressed me because I did not have the right clothes to go on this cattle drive. And so I'm like up on this horse and I'm following along and I'm just like, if this thing moves too fast, I'm going to fall off. Um, so that was one of like my first experiences. But like our first dating experience was trapping, actually.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, he took me out trapping with his little sister and him, and they were just checking their traps. And in Utah, I think it's mandatory that you have to check them every other day. At least it was at that time. And so they were due to be checked. And so we needed to go check the trap line. And I remember a coyote being in the trap. And I was like, what in the world is happening?
Oh, Liz.
And then, of course, like he killed the coyote.
Yeah.
Um, And I just was like, that dog, it just died, but it wasn't a dog.
It was a very pissed off kind of
Yeah.
a dog.
Yes, it was. And he was obviously growling and just like wanted to get out of the trap. But the cool thing from that experience that I saw was just the bond that he had with his sister because he's teaching her, right? Like how
Mm,
to reset the trap and how to like guide an animal in and like about predator control. He's teaching me about predator control. She already knew that stuff. But yeah, so I'm like learning all this stuff and I'm just seeing like the knowledge that's being passed down from one generation to the next and like just the beauty in that. I think that was
mhm.
like my true first experience to the outdoors and just like seeing just that, just
Yeah.
wisdom being passed down from one person to another. Just beautiful.
I've always appreciated that about you is it seems like you are able to process things at like such a deeper level and see them versus just like the surface level of which it is. Like you want to learn why and the deep meaning behind stuff versus just seeing like you just killed this dog like creature. Like what is that about? But understanding why, like, predator management and things like that. I've always appreciated that about you. We always get like really deep in thought. I'm like, whoa. I think you were someone that really made me now when I sit down and do the podcast and have that deep, heartfelt conversation. I think a lot of that I've been able to process that because of our conversations way back in the cubicle. So I really appreciate that about you. You've made me look deeper into it too. Like, why do I do this and love this the way that I do?
Well, I
Because
guess
you had to understand it.
exactly. I think that's what's like the blessing of being what I call myself a life learner, right? Is like
Mm,
I'm constantly trying to understand why people are doing the things that they do and like why it matters. And just like being curious and asking those questions. It just like helps us get it down to those root values.
it really does. So you're dating Cam and you're going through and you're trapping, and I would assume fishing, and your relationship just builds upon that more and more.
I say all the time that he tricked me. Like he flat out tricked me. Okay. He took me trapping and then he told me that he was into fishing and hunting. What I did not understand is how long and how repetitive those seasons are. Like that we would go from shed hunting to spotting to archery to muzzleloader to rifle to duck hunting to trapping and back to shed hunting. I did not
Yeah,
know.
it's never ending.
No,
Not a
I did not
sports season.
know. So when he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm into hunting," I didn't know what that meant. It's fine.
Do you think, because I know Liz was into soccer and ballroom, were there things that you found yourself taking from, because those have seasons and practicing, that you found yourself taking from those kind of sports and putting into the outdoor space, being like the city girl doing these things to then going outdoors?
Yeah, so everything was new to me, and I think that's, like, what was so cool about it is that I came in with fresh eyes, and in soccer, you have conditioning, right? Like, you don't realize, like, how much endurance helps you on a long hike and how to
Mm,
pace yourself, and you're like, "Oh my, if this is the halfway point and we haven't made it back to the truck, like, okay, like, now I need to prep mentally to get back there," right? Yeah, as far as ballroom dancing, there's a lot of, like, leading and following that happens in the dance space, and there's a lot of trust in your partner. There are so many times that I was out hiking with Cam where he would take the lead and I was kind of like more the follower, right? But
mhm.
to like trust one another that we're going to meet up where we're going to meet up and that we could find each other, and then make our way back to the truck. So a lot of partnership and pairing that happens in both of those spaces. I think anything that you really get proficient in blesses you for the next thing to come. And that's what it was, is all those things, the skills that I had learned in my city girl era really did bless me when I became more of a small town life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what like your family thought of going from like big city girl to small town wife.
Well, they were all shocked. They're like, "We're on a horse? Are you kidding me right now?"
Just blown away.
But they thought it
Yeah.
was great because they're like, "Yeah, you're learning how to grow your own vegetables and, you know,
Mhm.
and how to process meat, and you're eating really well." And it's like, "That's great."
Yes. I loved seeing that. I remember when I was able to like finally share recipes with you and
I
you'd
know.
be cooking wild game and be like, wait, like what have I been missing out on? And I was just so proud that you were willing to lean into it because even so many people that grow around up around hunting are like, I don't do wild game. And you just embraced it for all it was and appreciated being young and married too, because you and Cam did get married and being young and married, it's like, man, I'll take the meat where I can.
Well, for sure. We were poor. We were so poor. And it was meat and it was food and our tacos were elk tacos and it was fine.
Yeah. So you guys end up getting married, and then do you end up moving to the city or do you end up going back to a small town? What does life look like for Liz?
Oh man. So my husband wanted to get his master's degree and he did.
Mm,
And so we were up in the city for that. And then after he got his degree in social work, we moved back down to Blanding, small town life. And by then we had 2 kids and then we had 2 more kids while he was like head deep into his career and still like using the outdoors to help heal people. One thing that I love and respect about Cam is that everything that he grew up learning, like fishing, hunting, shed hunting, just nature, he would use it to help other people. He gave them outlets, positive outlets, to get away from addictions because he was like an addiction recovery therapist
okay.
and just teaching them these skills in order to like choose differently in their life when they're stressed and find different ways to cope. And so outdoors became a really big part of our life, but it was always a part of him and it became part of our family culture. Like that's what we did is take our kids out fishing, hunting, hiking, all the things. We would always go and exploring. It just has always been a really big part of our family identity and culture.
Hmm. And I knew because we obviously stayed pretty close while you guys were up living by us, and he was going through school. And every once in a while, I'll walk into a Home Depot, and I think I can because he was working at Home Depot while we were working together, and he was going through school. And I knew he wanted to try. I always loved that you kept being like, he somehow wants to bring in the outdoors to his work. When you were saying he was able to do that, was he like physically going out with them or just kind of giving them ideas of it? Because I never really got to see that come into play being as you guys moved away later on. And we
Yeah.
didn't really have like social media wasn't as big then, right?
Yeah. 100%. So it's very interesting when you are a mental health counselor. There's a lot of things that you can't actually talk about with your family, right? And so I've only gotten to hear bits and pieces and stories later down the road when people have come and told me personally about these experiences with him. Um, but I did know that he would run a group and it was an addiction recovery group. And sometimes he'd be telling me, like, oh, it's going to be a late night. We're going to do a campfire. We're going to go out and hike out to the ridge. Just so you know, don't wait up, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, that's great. But since his passing, he passed away, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler.
His clients have come and talked to me about times that he would do a session with him and they would go out on his boat, his fishing boat, and they would just go out and fish and talk. And he would just be teaching them about, life and skills while they were just fishing, just learning something different. And that boat has been iconic in a lot of people's healing and recovery. They constantly talk to me about the boat.
Wow, that's so cool. I can only imagine because just what healing conversations we have between like amongst ourselves or even by yourself when doing it, let alone with somebody that can have a little more insight into that is just truly so powerful.
Yeah, it's truly beautiful. He was gifted in many different ways. And ours is very much part of his identity and how he used to help heal others.
Mhm. And so you guys moved back to Blanding and has his now career that he's working on. Can you give us kind of a rundown? You gave, a little spoiler alert, but this is a large part of your story and also your foundation. And so I would love to give you the space to kind of share that because I mean,
Yeah.
so many people need to hear the story that you've been so willing to share over the years.
Yes. Yes. So, like I said, outdoors and family bonding is intertwined, right? Like
Hmm.
that is a big part of our family culture. We had a yearly tradition where Cam would go fishing at Lake Powell with his siblings. And like that was something that he looked forward to every year. This year, it was 2020, he decided that they would do night fishing at Lake Powell, which is very common for that area, is to go down and fish the docks. And, you bring little kids and they like stay up as late as they can and then they pass out and sleep on the dock and then you come home early in the morning. Like it's just part of the fun. Uh, Blanding's also known for their 4th of July festivities. And, like you get this big influx of people. So it's like family reunion plus fishing trip all intertwined. So he was on his way to go do that, but he ended up being a little bit delayed because he was helping a family move. And Cam's just always one of these people that just like brings other people along. And so he grabbed two of his buddies. That one was just having a really hard day, and the other one, was just kind of like a constant plus one, right?
Yeah.
Just that you know, kind of third wheel in your marriage, but not third wheel in your marriage.
Yeah, I have some of
You know,
those.
do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
You
he
love
like,
them, but they're
yes,
right there.
bless their heart. They're the people that you rely on and trust, and
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
that you can also give the honeydew list to. Yeah. So he had those people in his truck with him, and they left a little bit later. I just remember getting the phone call as he's on his way out of town and headed towards the lake, and just how excited and happy all of them were. It had been a stressful week at work. Life didn't go as planned for one of them, and it was just the reprieve, right? Like you're about to go fishing and just let off some steam out in the hills and, you know, go do your thing. And I just remember feeling so happy and excited for him. It was about 2 in the morning when my doorbell rang, and I was not dressed to open the door. So I'm like throwing on clothes as fast as I can and trying to figure out what in the world's going on. I'm like half asleep, and I open the door and I see a state trooper, and he had told me that Cam had been in an accident. And my first thoughts were just like, oh crap, like he's been life flighted to the University of Utah, and it's going to be a long recovery. Just because anything major in a tiny town, you just get life flighted, right? And as he's continuing to talk, he tells me all the details that he was on that highway. It looks like he had swerved, and then he swerved again and rolled the truck and lost control, and that he did not make it, that he died on impact. And that moment was just so brief, but felt like miles long. Like I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And all of a sudden, the weight of that reality came down, and I just fell to my knees and just started sobbing because I'm like, this cannot be real. Like, this is like one of the strongest men I know. Like, how is this happening? And like, finally, I started processing a little bit more. And then I asked about the others. I'm like, are they okay? Because I knew who he rode down with. And he told me no, that they didn't make it either. And so all three had died.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I wish I was there now to hold your hand.
It's such a interesting and hard day, right? But my mother-in-law and father-in-law were there. And so I just felt so blessed that there were, like, I was immediately surrounded by family as I was trying to process all these things and like what that would look like for my kids and I. And it was a lot.
Yeah, say the least. My gosh. And so that is the start of a very long journey. I can only imagine.
Yeah, that's the the climax.
The climax. Oh, and to lose all three in a community
Yes.
and your in-laws being around.
Yeah. Because my in-laws had already gone ahead, my father-in-law was probably one of the first 5 people to roll onto the scene. But luckily, the paramedics and everybody was already there. So they were notified before I was.
And it's, I remember being on the 4th of July, opening Instagram and seeing your post. And I was just, I mean, it seems so silly just to share my side of the story because it's your story, but that's how I found out was through Instagram. Um, yeah, and it just obviously broke my heart for you and for your children and you being so far away.
Right? I mean, we had babies around the same time. It's so easy to picture, like, what if this is me and my family, right? Like,
Hmm.
it makes it so real because all this stuff is supposed to happen to people that you don't know, right? And it's, like, mind-blowing when it's, "No, no, 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 this is actually my friend," or, "This is my sister," or, someone a lot closer to home. It totally changes how you view things in life.
It does. It put things into perspective. 'Cause, as you said, you're feeling relief for them and excitement because there's so many times I think everyone can relate to sending their spouse off to do something and you don't expect to get that knock at 2 a.m.
A game changer in piece of gear for both myself and my family has been utilizing digiscoping. If you're not familiar, real quick, digiscoping is when you use your phone to capture photos or videos through your spotting scope or binoculars. And if you're wanting the best and most simple system to digiscope with, All In is hands down it. If you're out in the field and want to capture the moment through your optics without fumbling around or missing the shot, All In has you covered. What I love most is how seamless and user friendly the system is. Like, seriously, so easy to use. My oldest son, Cooper, and Rivers has used it before, but Coop was using it to film my bear hunt. It's that easy. He was able to capture the shot, follow the bear, and that way we were able to go back, look at the shot placement, and then where the bear went. And then, of course, when Cody got to us, we were able to relive those memories with him all over again. And now I can look back at that footage and watch it forever. It's been especially awesome for hunting with kids. You can show them exactly what you're seeing and then relive it later with clear and steady footage. It's a whole new level of connection and storytelling in the outdoors. And they just dropped their brand new Nexus system, which gives you a quick connect, universal fit across multiple optic setups, and you can connect it to your gun. It's built to be even faster, lighter, and more adaptable, perfect for when every second counts in the field. So whether you're chasing big game, scouting with the kids, or just want to document your hunts with ease, All In is a no-brainer. Head to allin.co and use our code RECKONING for 10% off your order. That's allin, OLLIN.co, and use our code RECKONING for 10% off. If you've followed Reckoning for a while, you know I don't recommend gear unless I've actually put it through the ringer. And if you've ever messaged me asking, Britt, what pants are you wearing hiking or hunting? It's almost always the First Light women's 308 pant. Honestly, I've spent the last 20 years trying to find hunting pants that actually work for women. Most brands seem to miss the mark though. And I'd usually end up buying the men's pants because they had the durability, the pockets, the vents, and all the features I wanted, but they never quite fit right. Like a saggy crotch. Nobody wants that when they're out hiking. But First Light finally figured it out. The women's 308s have all those performance features I love from the men's version, but they're designed to actually fit a woman's body, hug those curves. They're comfortable, they're tough, and they've held up through everything I've thrown at them. I've crawled through the sagebrush, hiked miles, packed gear, and worn them season after season and through different seasons. And they just keep going. I wear the walnut color all the time when I'm out hiking or spending time outdoors. When it's hunting season, I switch over to the circa pattern for a full camo setup for bow season. And it's not just their pants. I absolutely love their jackets and coats too. One of my favorite features is that they're designed to fit comfortably over your bino harness without feeling bulky or restricting when moving. The hoods are incredible, the fit is thoughtful, and you can tell this gear was designed by people who actually spend time in the field. Our whole family runs First Light. Cody wears it, Coop wears it, and it's becoming the gear we trust every season. If you're looking to upgrade your hunting or outdoor gear, especially for the women in your life, head over to firstlight.com and use our code RECKONING15 to save 15% off your order. That's First Light, FIRSTLITE.com with code RECKONING15.
So what does your next few months kind of look like through that?
It was a complete blur.
Because you have four small children.
Yes. So my kids at the age of that time were 7, 5, 4, and 2. So I had really young children. Um, and I was in shock, right? Like there was no
Yeah.
warning. like no warning whatsoever. Sometimes I get jealous of people that lose their spouse through cancer or a terminal illness because they had time to understand that this was potentially coming and to maybe have some of those final conversations. That didn't happen for me. Like he was there one moment, completely fine, healthy, and then gone the next. And so for the first little while, I just remember just being in shock. And people are coming and talking to me, and I'm just trying to gather knowledge and just trying to figure out what's my plan. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to raise these babies all on my own? You know? And that's what the first 3 months were. I knew that in our own little personal savings that I had about like 2 months of the mortgage paid. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't have to make any big decisions today. I have like 2 months to figure it out.
Yeah. I remember getting on the phone with you and having conversations here and there, and it was very, I was grateful that you could call me and talk. I felt so honored to be kind of at least a phone call. Um, but I too learned a lot of lessons, unfortunately, watching you go through this because there were so many things that you're like, we didn't even think of like having my name on like the phone bill or something like that. Were
Yeah.
there lessons you kind of learned and would advise people?
Oh, give your spouse all the passwords. Like, give them all the passwords and have their names on everything. I think sometimes it's just easier for like one person just to set up the accounts and manage it. And although that may be true, just having their name on things made it so much easier. For the things that weren't in my name, I would have to like submit death certificates and have so many like hour-long phone calls with companies trying to explain to them that my husband died and I'm the one that's trying to like figure out this account or close it out or get it transferred into my name. And it was just like adding salt to a wound, right?
Yeah, it seems so unfair, like
Yeah.
having to just re-explain stuff.
Well, not even the re-explaining. It's like all of a sudden my life is working one way and then I have to get everything transitioned into my name on top of this major load that I already have. And it's like, what I can't even process what's going on, let alone do all the tasks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like it's a thing. It's called widow's fog, where you're just like white knuckling day to day, don't remember passwords. So I'm like, keep a list, put their name on it.
Yeah. So that was and you're doing all this too through COVID, which I remember added like another layer
Oh, it
of
was so,
just difficulty.
yeah, so hard. I mean, normal grieving kind of almost went out the window during COVID, right? There are a lot of people that have their own COVID stories about not being able to like host funerals, right? In the traditional sense. Luckily, I lived in a small town where I was able to have an outdoor funeral
Mhm.
and that people could, social distance as they felt comfortable. And I was actually able to hold a service. Like that was not happening in 2020. Like that was
Mhm.
not the reality. Uh,
Which it was so beautiful too. To have it outside almost felt like the perfect little nod
it was,
to him
yeah,
and his dear mount.
yeah, it was just perfect. It was iconic him, and it just was great.
Yeah, to be going through all that in the midst of COVID. So those are like your 3 months, you said, is kind of what that looked like.
Yeah, just trying to figure out how to get all the bills in my name and what's my next step? What's my plan? Like,
Yeah.
I do not have a plan.
Did you feel like people were asking you a lot of like, what's your plan? And you're like, please quit asking me because I don't even know.
Yes, yes, there's always people that are like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Thank you for, thinking about my future as much as I am, but trust me, no one's thinking about it more than me."
Yeah.
And then also because he was a news story, I think some people felt a little bit more entitled to information,
Mm,
and I'm like, "Oh, ooh, that's actually pretty personal. I haven't decided what I'm doing with these things or what my future goals are just quite yet."
right.
Like the grass hasn't grown over yet. Can we give me a minute?
Yeah. Do you, are there, like, is there advice you could give to somebody that's to help someone else through grief, or like better questions to ask than like I would always, like, I don't want to be like, how are you? 'Cause I'm like, that's a stupid question,
For
you
sure.
know?
It's
Like, what's a better way to be there for somebody? Because a lot of people just don't know that, and you have, the unique perspective of how to maybe help someone navigate that and be there for someone.
for sure. Okay, so I have two pieces of advice. One for the griever, and that is to realize that people are trying to show you their love, and it may come imperfectly and they may say the wrong thing, but they're trying, right? Like, so just extend them grace because that's the reality. We all say really stupid stuff when we don't know, but why are we saying it? Is because we care and we want to care
Okay.
and we want to show up. And so one, extend them grace, right? And then the second one is for the person that's helping a griever, and that is just to show up in love. Like, it may be imperfect. You are most
Mhm.
likely gonna say the wrong thing that day,
Yeah.
and just know that it's okay. That if you show up in love and that's what you have to offer, then it's good enough, right?
Mm.
And, like,
No, that's good.
as far as your question, how are you? It might need to change to, how are you today?
Yeah, that's good. Just a slight little tweak. And you're right too, like, if you think about it, overly thinking it causes you to step back and not be there for them versus just showing up the best that you can, I guess. So that's
Yeah.
solid
Like,
advice.
it was so neat for me to see people that maybe I interacted with in high school or as a child, like, in my childhood era, right? Come out of the woodworks and just be like, "Liz, I'm so sorry," and just know that I love you and I'm supporting you from afar, right? You know? Just knowing that they see your pain and that you matter, like, that's everything.
Mhm. It was neat to watch because the men that passed, Cam and his 2 friends, were avid outdoorsmen, and I loved watching from my end, just being able to see how people come together in that space, and they all gathered up their horns. And that was something we went and took our horns down and dropped it off at this place, and on my end, being your friend and knowing, like, not how to show, you know what I mean? Like, I just said, "How do I show up? What do I do?" Especially that first week of you planning a funeral and things like that. But I remember us dropping off the horns and just seeing how many people had at least just horns to give. It really went to show the community that you lived in was really, really special. That small town outdoorsman community. I thought that was really beautiful, and that made me feel like at least we could do something, you know?
Yeah. To this day, I am just, like, so grateful for all the creative outlets that people chose to, like, help, right? There was horns, there was this cute kid that donated their 4-H, you know, sheep and steer, and just sweet, sweet ways that people donated where they bought that and then they divided the meat among, um, the 3 of us so that way we could feed our families, and, um, yeah, there's just so many ways to contribute and just to see people that maybe didn't even know me, like you personally did, but there was some that didn't, and just to see their love come full force, it was overwhelming and in a good way. Like, I couldn't even receive it all. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, there's so many ways to be able to, I think that's what reflected on me, was to be able to help and contribute, even if you don't know exactly how to say something or do something. Just to see all the love that was poured in, I think was really, really beautiful, and it gave a sense of, like, there's people looking out for her and for the kids, and that's really special. So, you have your 4 small little babies. And not only are you grieving, you've got four others that are grieving. And I know this is a big part of your story and why you have the foundation that you do today. What is that looking like? How are you guys shifting and continuing on?
Yeah. So, can I just maybe tell you how the foundation came to be and a couple
Yes,
of stories that kind
I
of
would love that.
led to it being what it is? So, the first story is uh, I am part of a widow trio, right? That's what happens is when three married men die together, they become like a part of a trio. Yeah.
A club you didn't want to join, but there you are.
Own unique club.
Yeah.
But I'm actually part of the second widow trio from that town. First widow trio was like about 12 years before, and it was a plane crash. Just men that were out spotting. Um, and the plane went down and all three died. Um, one of the children from that accident came to see me probably like a week or so after Cam died. And like, I've never met him before. He's never met me before, but he came to talk to me. And I was just like trying to pick his brain. I'm like, okay, you've lived this life. Like, tell me, like, what do I need to know? What do I need to know for my boys? Because my oldest is a girl and then I have three boys, you know? I'm like, what do I need to know from them? And he told me to find mentors, find good male role models, people that they can trust and call up one day and say, hey, I need to have a fatherly chat. He's like, that's going to be the most beneficial thing that you can do for your boys. And so I was like, okay. So I like went on this mission to find male role models, you know? And part of it came probably a year after Cam had died that I started to get together groups of people that were also widowed to go do things. And one of them was a hike. And we had about like 25 people with us, and some of them were kids. And like as I was like on this hike with all these other people, like I'm helping them with their kids. We're talking about all our hardships and the things that come with being a solo parent, and we're just like intuitively helping each other out. Like we just know like what that kid might need. And it was just like bam, 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 as we're on this hike, like figuring it out. And then I took a minute to observe and I watched the kids, and it was like the armor was off. They weren't guarded. Like the defenses were down. They were connecting. They understood that the other kids there had an angel parent, and it was like happy again. Like they were free. And like if they had like a hard moment, or if they said that they missed their mom or their dad, like just the natural empathy that came was just beautiful to observe and watch. And I was like, oh my goodness, I need this for my kids. I need them to find other kids that get it. I don't just need mentors, I need community. And that was like the birth of the Chosen Connection, is like, I need to build this, and I need to build it for my kids and all the other kids that are missing their mom or dad right now.
Wow. The fact that he came to you too is really special to guide you in that, because that is a very unique brain that you get to pick
Oh,
as a mom too.
for sure. Like, and that, I think that's like one of the coolest things ever, is like he had this life experience and it's uncomfortable and it's awkward. He doesn't know me, right? And he just showed up, gave me a hug, and introduced himself, told me his story, which allowed the floodgates to open, and we were able to exchange that dialogue.
Mhm. You said there were several stories. Is that kind of like the little pin of like, I need to start something? And
That
then
was
there
the
was
pin.
more that compounded?
That was the pin. And then like I just got like little bits and pieces along the way, you know, because Christmas hit and it was like the worst Christmas of my life. I used to like Christmas, and then I was like, never again.
Oh,
And so I'm like, okay, I got to change this. I got to change this for these kids because this is awful. This is terrible. And so then I started hosting Christmas events and just trying to give
Mm.
them something to look forward to, and then that transformed into more activities. Yeah.
And so at this point, are you slowly like starting just to reach out to widows that you know, or like are you sharing, hey, we're hosting this?
Yeah, like I joined a bunch of widowed forums online just to like one, figure out how to raise kids by myself. Like we're all just collaborating online and just sharing stories and what's going on and what our heart is. And from there, I'm like, okay, let's get our kids together. Let's do this. And I just had this vision of what Christmas used to look like for me and what I wish I could give the kids now after such a hard transition in life.
Is
If you follow me or Cody for that matter on social media, hell, even just listen to our gear recommendations on the show, you have heard and seen this company numerous times. That's Sheep Feet. Sheep Feet is known for customized orthotics to your feet and your boot. Each pair of orthotics they make is different and 100% custom to each person's feet. Their process gives them a precise replica of your foot, which allows them to make high quality orthotics specifically for you. Each pair is handmade and constructed in the USA. I'm telling you, having sheep feet in your boots, you like don't know what you're missing until you have them. And then you're like, how did I ever do anything without these? It makes a huge difference to up your gear. And now they have my favorite hoodie of all time. It's been decided. It's official. The Hideout hoodie. You have seen me in this probably too much, but I don't really care. I'm just going to keep wearing it. I have it in black, which is my go-to, and also green, which is perfect for the mountain. I love this for a hunting layer or honestly just day to day, especially for the gym. The hideout pocket honestly is what sold me at first. It is Sherpa lined and also water and wind proof, making it a built-in hand warmer. Mummy likey. Crafted from durable grid fleece, it keeps you cooler when moving and warmer when you're not. It has zipper pockets to keep items secure and fitted high zip hoodie for added utility. It's real perfect to hide from the wind or just when like you're over for the day feeling a little emo from all the people, but I really do like it to go up high over for the wind, and it has comfortable thumb holes. If you know, you know. This is perfect for hunters who love versatility in a single piece of gear, no matter the season of the hunt. Sheep Feet also released their stealth bombers last fall, and these are the ultimate stalking and hunting shoe. You're definitely gonna want to check these out now before it gets too close to bow season. These are a hot commodity. Plus, they have some other awesome apparel like shirts and something coming down the pipeline that I'm excited to share with you guys when it drops. We've been lucky enough to be field testing some of it. Listen, don't settle for anything less than custom. Be sure to check it all out at sheepfeetoutdoors.com. They have hooked you guys up with 10% off too. Plus, Sheep Feet are HSA and FSA card approved. Go to sheepfeetoutdoors.com and use our code RECKONING for 10% off. Again, that's sheepfeetoutdoors.com and use our code RECKONING, RECKONING for 10% off your next order. You know how it goes. Your adventure is only as strong as your recovery and then your energy to start it. That's why I've been loving Mountain Ops' Naturally Sweetened line. If you haven't heard yet, I know so many people, including myself, have wanted there to be a naturally sweetened line when it comes to the favorites, Hydrate and Ignite. They are naturally sweetened with Reb M and monk fruit. They're just as effective with hydration and energy to fuel the day. Whether I'm working out, working, hunting, chasing the kids, or just trying to stay on top of everything, I always have a packet in my bag of either the Hydrate or Ignite and or both. Sometimes they stack really well, meaning you can mix them. Even my kids ask for the Hydrate sticks when we're on the go, especially when we've been out hunting or camping and obviously after their sports sessions. And let's talk about their new product drop. I have been waiting months for this. I may or may not have gotten some inside scoop and I'm excited. It's their clear protein. This is their new Magnum Clear Whey. It is so refreshing. So what you do is you mix it with water, and it makes more of a protein water, if you will. It's light, fruity, not chalky or milky at all, and it's low lactose. Perfect for after a hot hunt or hard gym session. I'm kind of excited to try making like a protein jello with this. I think could be really fun for meal prep, or just making like a refreshing smoothie or refreshing drink at the end of the day. What does it look like? It honestly looks like after you mix up ignite or hydrate. So it's a scoop of this clear whey protein with water. And like I said, you mix it, you froth it, wait a couple minutes because it does get a good froth. And then I mix it one more time and it looks similar to like a hydrate or an ignite. You get 23 grams of protein. That doesn't feel like a shake. Seriously, it's a game changer for these hot months and just a new way to shake up your protein shakes. We also keep on hand always our immune gummies, slumber, and performance bars on rotation for the whole family. We love their hoodies and gear just as much as their supplements too. Mountain Ops is built for real people who live hard, love the outdoors, and want to feel their best while doing it. Head to mountainops.com and use our code BRIT for 20% off your order. Plus, every purchase helps donate a meal to a child in need. That's mountainops.com and use our code BRIT, BRITT, to stock up and give back.
There are a couple stories that maybe stand out to you. You said obviously watching them have a community is really special. Is there specific moments or events or stories that you've seen that have really just been like, we need to keep this going and grow it that much farther?
Oh, absolutely. Every year there's something, right? There is
Mm.
one kid that comes in grumpy, and by the time they leave, they're so freaking happy. And you're like, is that the same child? Like, you're just wondering, like, what happened? you know? But some of the coolest experiences are watching them make friends and being like, Mommy, can we get their number? And so we can hang out, right? Like, they want to be around each other. Um, I actually had a couple parents tell me stories because I'm not always the receiver of the story, right? So this parent actually came to me and their child was just in shock that they came to one of our events and they asked their parent, they're like, is all the children here like one that have lost a parent? And they told them yes. And they were just like, oh, so I'm not alone. And it was just, yeah, community. Like they had no idea. And like for my teens, like they can be hard, right? Because
Yeah.
they just think about what they've lost and how hard it is and all the things that they don't get to do anymore. When they come, they have a different experience. They come and they see the little kids and they're like, "Oh, I have memories. They don't. Crap."
Mm.
Like they start
Mhm.
to appreciate what they were given. And then as they like go through and come back year after year, they're able to help out and be
Okay.
mentors to the younger kids. So that's been like the latest full circle moment.
Yeah. Is having the mentors.
Yeah.
That is neat. How long have you been doing it then to watch them transform into mentors?
Okay, so this is actually my 5th year running the ropes course event that I do, and my 6th year that I will be doing brunch with Santa for the
Okay.
younger kids. And so those are my 2 events that I host each year. And then as I've been watching this all grow, it's just been so neat to see the transitions in the children. I love when like I get a parent that asks me, like, "Are you doing it again?" My kids keep
Mm.
asking, "Are we going to the ropes course? Are we going to brunch with Santa? Are we going to get our Santa pictures?"
Yeah. Cute. They look forward to it.
Yeah.
So is the ropes course like a summer thing? And then you've got like the obviously brunch with Santa. So it's like every 6 months being able to get together. Is that how
Yes.
it runs?
Yes, that's what I'm able to offer right now is the 2 events a year. The ropes course is probably one of my most favorite events. I love them both for different reasons, but the ropes course for me is probably one of my most favorite just because I get to break the kids up into age groups and they get to meet other children their age that have gone through a
Okay.
similar loss. And they're paired with mentors and they go through the different stations. They get to be part of a discussion circle where they talk about their angel parent and they learn a coping skill for grief. And so not only are we giving them tools, but we're also giving them adventure and challenges and community. So it's been like really neat to watch that aspect grow. And then our Christmas time is unique for different reasons. It's
Hmm.
it's these traditions that were once really painful. These kids get to come into a room where all their families are just like them. They're not watching these nuclear looking families all take Santa pictures. They get to be with families that are different and they all understand a shared loss. They get to create an ornament or a craft of some kind that um, is an outlet to express their grief. We've added an angel tree this last year where we got to put pictures of all our angel parents on the tree. And it just becomes this really beautiful way to celebrate the holidays that were once so painful.
Mhm. It's listening to you and getting to go over your story and Cam's story, listening to what you're doing now ties so beautifully into what Cam was doing for his community at one point too. Just having that connection. And I don't know that I've ever sat in it long enough to kind of see that circle too. Because I've seen it, it's largely obviously your story, but to see that like it is there's like that inspiration there a little bit of what he used to do.
I love that. I don't think I've ever realized that full circle moment either. And it honestly makes it more special for me.
Yeah.
Just,
Just hearing that. I'm like, wow, sitting and finding that community and then talking it through and taking a coping mechanism is what Cam used to do with outdoors. And now Liz is able to do that with outdoors and ropes and then with other children.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things on the planet, just because I had to grieve, the hopes and dreams that he had that he didn't get to live out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, am I living this out for him? Like, this is beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
full circle moment right now. Thanks, B.
I'm just listening and putting it together. You taught me to to think deep and see it all is. And that's what I saw listening to that. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, that's what Cam was doing, and now Liz is doing it now for those kids.
Truly, it's an honor. It is an honor.
Mhm. It's beautiful to watch you take something like you've been through and be able to provide that for all these families and these children. Do you think that this was something too that helped you heal moving forward?
Yes, I think it's actually a necessary part of the grieving process. I think sometimes we're so far in the trench that we just need to, you know, heal our own wounds, but part of healing is also giving back, right?
Mm,
And that's kind of what I love about what the Chosen Connection has become is um, it's this community that gives an opportunity to help healers that are within those first few years and that are stuck in the trench and helping them make connections for them to see like what could become of life and an opportunity for them to then later reach back and pull other people out of the trench, right?
mm, mhm,
I love watching my teens that are now young adults come back and volunteer for me and have them run groups or, if they're a little more shy, they'll face paint for me or do something else, right? It's so neat to see them come back and help out.
yeah. Is where are you hosting these events?
So right now I'm hosting in Utah. Um, I have one event, the ropes course that is traditionally held in Provo, Utah at Class Ropes Course. And then we have transitioned our brunch to Santa to not just being Utah County, but expanding to the northern region of the state. And so we usually do that in Farmington.
And you've talked about the importance too, where when you had the fellow bereaved child come and meet with you, how you were really asking about your sons and a mentor that way. Are you looking to expand things to where there's more mentoring when it comes to certain things? Like, taking other kids hunting or fishing or whatever their interest may be. Is that something that you guys help connect?
I would love to facilitate that in the future where they are taking opportunities to connect year round. It would require more events because children do not have access to social media, nor should they.
Should they?
Yeah, young children do not. And so connecting those mentorships really comes through connecting the families, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so by hosting more events, getting them in proximity together where they're coming repetitively and maybe even expanding is what facilitates that long-term connections. Because, yeah, one of the coolest things that happened when you're at our ropes course is the teens, they really bonded over doing the human knot. And at the end, they were like, hey, we should all create a text group and hang out, you know?
Well, yeah.
And so I loved it. They got community. I would love to like continue to build and host more events throughout the year. So that way you just continue to feed those mentors to these young families.
Hmm. And so what is like your coming goals this next year? Because it seems like you're really establishing your foundation.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot. Obviously, this has started from like groundworks, like there was nothing, right? Like, and it's being created. And now I have a website, which I'm super excited. I have a board.
Right.
I have members of people that are like helping out with social media and like all these other things. So I would love to expand and to grow where I have more events and also different like states that we can have people host chapters, right? In a different state,
Mm.
create an event there, just so that way we can continue to grow this community. We also have some goals with outreach because not everybody can travel, right? Like
Hmm.
traveling and bringing your families to Utah isn't always feasible, but we want them to feel included and loved and seen. And so we are creating gift boxes for Christmas time that we can send to families that have an angel parent where they can create some memories incorporating their angel parent, like whether they are creating an ornament or a luminary for their angel parent, like they're having activities that it's donated through us to them in order to bring their parent to the present.
And how can people help out with this? Is just going to your website. What is that?
Yeah, so we have a website, it's thechosenconnection.org, and you can donate there. Some people want to donate materials, and that's totally fine. We're always in need of paper products for hosting these events, right? We also are accepting any like craft materials. Like if you have an idea on how kids can honor their angel parent and you want to donate the crafts for that or the supplies to make that happen, please email us, right? I would love to get in contact with you and make that a possibility for the children. We have people in Utah County and in northern Utah that can go and collect material and make that possible.
Yeah. When you say you're like you've got mentors for them or volunteers when it comes to the Chosen Connection, are you specifically looking for people that are bereaved and understand that?
Y-
Or okay.
yes, I am. I There is something about someone that's further down the road reaching back that just gives so much hope. I just remember, being in that first year of grief and just feeling like I was drowning and talking to somebody that was 5 years down the road. 1, I could not believe that they were 5 years down the road. I'm like, "That sounds awful." But 2, it just, like, gave me hope that, like, you can continue to move forward and do this, right?
Hmm.
So for kids, I think it's important for them to see that this happened to somebody else at a certain age, whether it was like 14 or 7, and seeing what their life became, I think just gives them so much hope that their life isn't over because this hard thing happened, that there's
Mm,
more to come and they can use this experience to become so much more.
yeah. I I hope like the hunting and fishing community can come together to help you too, to be able to like maybe put together some type of mentorship with a fellow outdoorsman that has been in a bereaved child's position that can kind of help. Obviously, I think you watch families, like you said, outdoors are so intertwined deep into family and generational that your kids, I know, are so blessed in the fact that Cam's parents are able to take them and enjoy those experiences. But I think it would be really neat to for the kids to have that kind of access would be really cool to watch that come into play down the road.
For sure. And even if they don't have that background, there's a point in your life where you have to have new experiences, right? In order to
Mhm.
grow. And it's like if you have a family that has never been fishing, you know, seems like such
Mhm.
a simple thing, but like there might be a family that's never done that before. Like, what a beautiful gift that you just gave them a new experience and a new memory,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and a new way to connect and do things, definitely. You talked about how you would talk to people that were 5 years down the road and just be like, "Okay, whoa," you know? Now you are on that side of things. What you obviously poured a lot into your foundation and your kids and moving forward together. What has life looked like for Liz and obstacles and where are you now? Because it's been so fun to watch you grow and keep moving forward.
Man, I have learned a lot. Single parenthood was rough. Solo parenting is no joke. It is so hard. So I was single for about 4 years, just like managing everything by myself and trying to give my kids the best that I could give and knowing that I'm coming up short every day, right? It was not meant to be a one-person show. That is for sure.
Mm,
Parenting is not. Um, I eventually did remarry, and I am now mom and bonus mom to 8 children, and that is its own. Oh,
if anyone can do it, it's Liz.
oh, no. I am not doing it well. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean I'm doing it well.
But you're showing up every day.
I am trying. I am trying. But yeah, with that came relocating and, yes, so we are figuring out life in the great state of Washington and exploring up here, taking our kids backpacking. It is so loud, so crazy, so wild.
Uh,
And so
and that's, yeah, it's been fun to watch via, Instagram, your new explorations because again, it's like watching you go from Liz in her high heels in the cubicle to now you're up in Washington, hiking in those beautiful trees and the greenery with your family is it's just so fun to watch and see that and to see, where you are now.
yeah, I think that's, like, one of the beautiful things about going through hard things, right? Is if you keep stepping forward and going one step in front of another, like, sometimes you don't understand where you're going, but you're going, right?
Mhm.
It can lead you to the most beautiful places, you know? It doesn't mean that the path wasn't hard, it doesn't mean it's not painful and that you're not tired, you probably are, right? And everything in you hurts, it just ends up landing you in the most beautiful location and view that you never thought or dreamt possible.
I can only imagine that like that is just living on pure faith.
Oh, yes, 100%. Everything about this reality is crazy.
I've always loved too, like that you can just find humor in your life and giggle.
Man, I have to. If not, I'm gonna be in a straitjacket.
Oh, what adventures do you have coming up? Obviously, you've got your ropes course coming up soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, July 18th. We are still accepting signups, so if anybody wants to, just go to thechosenconnection.org. Um, if you are a person that has lost a parent or know somebody that has an angel parent, give that information to those families. It all helps. They find community, they find friendship. That is for sure. That's part of our family's mission now, is hosting these events. And it's been such a huge blessing. Next adventures on our list are actually a 4-day backpacking trip with the kids.
Oh my gosh. Fun.
Yeah. So that's,
Eyes get really big. Yeah.
yes, it's going to be great. 4 days. No. Last year we did the Olympic Coast up here, up in Washington, and it was just beautiful. It was hiking days and days and days and days and backpacking, and some of it was sleeping on the beach and just getting into
I'm
places
so proud of you.
right? Places that you can't get to, just driving in, and it was really cool. We had to time the tides. There we go.
Okay.
And read tide charts, which I've never done.
Me either. So that's amazing. Look at you. You'll have to
I'm
teach me.
learning. Yeah, and so this year I think we're going to do more mountains and craters and stuff. So
Beautiful. Okay. So what is like your go-to for packing for kids? Like what's something you're like, I will not, after the last trip, go without my kids having this in their pack
we are so fun.
on the spot.
Um, I like having little treats for the kids.
Yeah.
Give them like
Yeah.
hiking power-ups. And we
Yeah.
play like little games where they have to like touch rocks and all sorts of things in order to boost up their energy. Because our kids are young. Okay. The oldest, she is 13 and the youngest is 4. Okay. They are little and we're going to have them out doing these long hikes. So having power-ups is essential. That I've heard. And the individually wrapped power-ups, even better.
Okay.
That's a must. Let's see, what else? Oh, pull-ups, because we just never know. Because
Yeah, no, I agree.
sleeping bag out, and you're 2 days in and you have 4 more to go. This is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
So pull-ups are an essential. I'm trying to think of what else are essentials for us. Oh, we just do dehydrated meals. I would love to freeze dry my own meals. I think that's like my next venture.
Same.
Is
Okay, we'll have to do that together.
Yeah, like freeze dry like our staple homemade staples. And I'm like, okay, that would be like the next thing.
Yeah. Jen, Cody's mom, Liz knows her as Jen. She freeze dried our eggs for us one time from our chickens. And I just was like, I mean, call me a homesteader at this point.
Right.
Even though my mother-in-law did it for me, but they were my eggs.
Right.
So I'm like, how fun will it be to be up on a mountain, middle of nowhere, and being like, these are from our chickens.
Which is so much better than powdered eggs, and you know it.
So much better. Yeah. They're like so dark orange because they're from my chicken.
Exactly.
I thought that was neat. But yeah, I agree. I want to do the dehydrated meals. What's something that you keep as mom in your pack to like make sure you're good? Because you know better than anyone that saying that's everywhere is you got to put on your oxygen mask to be able to take care of people around you. Is there something that is an essential for Liz?
A good stick of deodorant. Oh man. That is my staple. I'm like, can I just please have my deodorant, please? I know I smell right now and I'm freaking out, but can I?
Oh, that's too funny. Smell a little pretty.
Yeah, just a little bit. I already know I smell like campfire. Okay, I already know.
That's
need
too
a little
funny.
bit of deodorant.
She's in there a little bit. She's still there.
Yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait to see those adventures. That is just so cool. We did a family backpacking trip when Rivers was 5 and there was rappelling involved. And then he hiked about 26, well, all of us, but I mean 5, right? Like 26 miles is just so cool. And that's something we played with him too, as like a tip, like Liz was saying, a power up. That's so fun. And I didn't even think of that, but we would be looking for everyone's footprints in the sand and trying to identify who belonged to who. And that just like kind of helps keep the mind busy and time going. Is not every part of the hike can be beautiful.
Or
you know,
enjoyable, right? Sometimes
enjoyable. Sometimes you just got to get to the next location. So those are fantastic tips. I mean, I didn't know I'd be getting such things from you, Liz.
right? Who knew? 2008 Liz had tips.
I know. I love it. I'm so proud of her. Oh, Liz, I appreciate you taking the time to tell your story. When I saw that you're like ground, you've got the website going, things are moving, it's been established. I knew that if you were willing to come on, I've been wanting to have you on for a while because you have such a beautiful story to tell and you've been so open and honest and kind of watching you. You've always been such a beautiful writer. So from the beginning, you've always really wrote things out to see. It's so magical to get to sit with you because I miss you, but
Oh, thank
also,
you.
oh, but also there's so many lessons to learn, whether you're grieving or helping someone through the grieving process, through having conversations like this. And I knew I could have an open conversation with you. And even if I ask the stupid questions, we can keep the conversation moving forward and learn together. And I'll know.
For sure. I'm just grateful that I have a really good friend that has my back. It's a little
Always,
easy.
always and forever. I know. She's my my easy. It goes far back. That's the good friendships that are made, right? Like the ones that you can go a couple months without talking or even, a year and kind of keep up with each other, but sit down and chat and catch right back up. Those are the special ones that you're always like, okay, now I understand why I was put there. Where can everybody find you? You told us the website, but remind us where we can find you if you're wanting people to follow your guys' adventures. If not, that's okay. And also the website and how people can donate again and get in contact with you if it is something that they have the means to help with, or maybe they can be a mentor and help someone else.
For sure. So my Instagram handle is at miss.ms.lizpalmer. And that is a great way to follow along on our family adventures and shenanigans. And sometimes I write, my feelings on the internet and probably overshare, but it's fine. It's fine.
No.
But we also have an Instagram account for the organization, and that's at The Chosen Connection. And you can donate and follow along with next events and what's coming up on thechosenconnection.org. And that's
Perfect. And I'll put all that in the show notes too so that it can easily be found and clickable if that's something that someone wants to do. So, yes. Do you have any advice to leave us with or anything like that?
my only advice, I think, in life is just to keep trying, The knockdowns are going to happen. That's part of mortality, and just to get up and keep trying. Don't give up. Because as you keep stepping and making the journey, it's going to get you to a very beautiful view. You just have to trust the process. And I say that as a person that is struggling to trust the process. That's my only thoughts there is keep trusting. Just know that I'm walking it with you and we'll figure it out.
I love that. And I love you, Liz. Thank you.
Love you too.